DCA changed me in any way, absolutely. My career for over 30 years has been in the legal field, nothing about education. And so, you know, in the ministry, always dealing with young people and the children, still never thought about getting into the educational field and writing the business plan for DCA, and having meetings with our chancellor, Dr. B, and wonderful assistant principal, Miss E. It has inspired me and motivated me to say, you know what? Heck, I'm gonna go take another, do another career move. And so, I've taken courses in education to be the best administrative director I can ever be. And preparing for this school has just changed my thinking process, career wise, and it's been absolutely amazing dealing with the scholars here at DCA as well as the parents. So yes, it has changed my life.
DCA will impact the world and the community by showing that there's a need to educate our teachers as well as our scholars on social justice, social impact, social change, and then also social emotional learning. Having teachers, speaking as an assistant principal, having teachers who are like minded in the idea of educating our youth and being tapped into who they are as a person first shows that there's a lack of it in the world and that these children are in dire need of it. So I hope that DCA starts to change in the rest of the world as well as the educational system to touch the lives of children and touch their hearts before you throw academics at them. The main thing I want the children of DCA to know is that they are loved, that they're thought about, that everything down to the lunch has their hearts in mind, has them as a person in mind. That though it's going to be rules and expectations, that we're not going to come down on them. That they always have a voice. I pray that when we get our first graduating class, that they continue to come visit us. That they know that they have a relationship. They have an adult here watching over them, no matter how far they go. That they just feel loved, like I said. Like they feel like they can come to us. They feel like whatever is going on at home, they don't have to bring it here. Like, and if they do bring it here, there's someone here available and ready to answer them. To be awards that we will be giving out are the medals of achievement. Okay. The medals of achievement for our DDLC Scholars are DC scholars, so each one of us are going to call a name, and once we call your name, you're going to come and get your medal, okay? So, I'm going to say, for example, Miss Nia, please come to the stage to get your medal, and Miss Nia will come to the stage, get her medal, and go back to her seat. Does everybody understand that? It changed me so much. My expectations, where I thought my life was gonna go, my life career. Always thinking that I'd just be a teacher. Always thinking that I would just be in the classroom because that's all I ever wanted to do once I found that passion a year ago. Having no desire to really, one, be the person to watch over other people as far as adults is concerned. I always just wanted to educate the lines. But also, as like God has transitioned me and moved me to this side of the world, meaning like moving down south and having to interact with a school that didn't necessarily do what was right, but they had good intentions, I was able to apply it to DCA. And based off of what Dr. B has taught me as well, I was able to apply it. So it has changed my way of thinking, realizing that like I have no plans for my life unless it's God's plan. Because he evidently knows the answer and he knows where he wants me. It also changed my work ethic. Having the ability to have to submit deadlines, that's so crucial because they are a direct replica of everything else. It's a domino effect. So if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, my teachers fail internally, and then internally my scholars fail. And nobody in DCA is more important to me than the scholars.
When God spoke concerning opening up DCA, Destiny Calling Academy, which is the private school for the ministry here, Destiny Driven Ministries, I was in another university program for clinical mental health to open up our counseling center, the secular center, with a religious or a Christian spiritual connotation to it. And God said DCA, and I just figured, okay, I'm going to be the visionary. We're going to open up Destiny Calling Academy, and the school is going to go, and I appointed people that are going to do this. And as we began to move forward to do it, God put on me, I had to be the chancellor. I had to be the principal. So how it changed me was, it changed my university program, and it was amazing. I was going through so many things, and I was like, wait a minute, this work is so easy, but I'm feeling so challenged, and I'm not into it, and it's annoying. And then God changed the entire program. I had spent thousands of dollars, 2 years in a program, and God changed the program and said, get out of it, and put me into an education program to be better prepared to lead my staff, to lead my teachers, to lead my assistant principal in what they needed to do with DCA. What is the main thing I want the kids who come to DCA to know? There is no main thing. There are so many main things that they need to know because they're so impressionable. And they cannot just know one primary thing, because if one thing becomes the primacy, what we've made secondary could be the vital thing they need. So I would say the collective of things that I want the children, scholars that come to DCA to know is that they can do it. They can learn, they can excel, they can be children, they can be loved without being abused, they can be cared for and not neglected. I want them to know that when they step through the doors of DCA, they have walked into purpose. They've walked into the path of their destiny. And that in this environment, starting with me and on to the executive staff and my teachers, that in this environment, there will be no monsters, no giants to stop them. I hope and I believe that God will make DCA a prototype for ministering to the whole child. That we do not just look at children as assessments and tests and markers based on being able to overcome the fear of taking a test, but that we look at children and our scholars as a creation of God, someone that God has put here to make a difference in their community, in their home, in their family, and that the world will see DCA as a model of not what might be done, not what should be done, but as a model of what is being done.
Why do I think God gave Dr. B DCA? To me, based on the person that Dr. B is, he's the type of person that loves to instill into people, pour into people. He wants to see people do their absolute best. He wants to see them live their absolute best life. He's gonna come up to you and he's gonna pour something into you, minister to you to make sure that you push on and you just live, fight another day. To me, I think because the type of person that he is, day in and day out, whether it's on the facility or off of the facility, the fact that he generally cares about people.
I don't really have the answer to that because he gives him everything. But just another way of educating people and their children, because it's a way to just pour into someone, not just through ministry. It's a way to catch them in the natural state. So it's him, God giving him the mandate, but also him relying on us to bring that.
I think that honestly God gave Dr. B DCA because he always says he has this funnel, where God just starts to pour things in and tell him things. And I think, the school to prison pipeline, education plays a major part in how our kids end up in this place where they're on drugs or they're in gangs or they're in jail. And, they have a lack of love in school. They have no, patience in school, no discipline, no control. They're not taught these things. And, Dr. B has the answers with the answers that he has and the vision that he has and the heart that everybody, all the VPs and teachers have to build their school. God gave it to him to be the blueprint, to be the start of what school should be like. I think God gave this to him because I think he was a person that could really open up this new platform where schools are not just about educating a child, but it's about the whole child, about their mind, their heart, where they see themselves. We always ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the conversation stops there. We don't talk about what it takes to be a firefighter. We don't talk about what it takes to be a cop or a doctor or a lawyer. We just say, well, one day you're going to get it. And I think with Dr. B being at the forefront and God being in his ear or in his head funneling in all these things, he is the person that was needed to really literally revamp the entire education system as we know it, and really help save this future. And the kids are our future.